Okay, hello again guys. So I've had a really quiet morning, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to talk to you about the DNT Hydra. This is the HS325 model. Now I've had this on loan from them, thank you very much, but I'm sending it back shortly, so I thought I'd do an overview of it and tell you about the time I've had with it and so on. Now, for me it's not really the time of year for me to be using a thermal sort of like this, and I've used it quite a few times in the daytime, and thermal's quite effective in the daytime, and if you'd seen some of my videos with this you'd have seen that, but I'm not getting as much use out of it perhaps as I should, and been using it in some situations where I'd have been better off using my DNT Thermite and so on. So we're going to send this back. I'm keeping the Thermite, and I thought I'd just go over what I think about it and so on before I sort of send it back to them. So this is the Hydra, and they advertise it as like a 3-in-1 clip-on, spotter and rifle scope. So I've had no opportunity to use it at all, obviously, as a clip-on. You need a longer rail to put it onto the rail and so on before that, and I don't think, well, I wouldn't have a use for that to be honest, but I can see its possibilities, particularly like in the US where there's a lot of, you know, like AR rifles with that long hand rail grip with the Picatinny all along it, where you can just pop it on the front. I can see it being really useful for that sort of circumstance. So as a spotter, it could definitely be used as a spotter. Look at the size of it. I'm a small guy, I've got small hands, and I can get my hand, you know, if it didn't have the rail on it, you can get your hand on it and even put it in your pocket and so on. But again, it's definitely got a use and can be used as a spotter. It's that small, but I think there are better individual options perhaps out there for a spotter and so on. And DNT are actually bringing out some thermal spotters with rangefinders on them that I've spoken about that look super good. So for me, I think its main use, certainly in the UK, is as a rifle scope, and that's pretty much where my review or overview of it would be. That's all I've ever really used it as, is a rifle scope, and it's got big potential as a rifle scope for me. So you can see it mounted on the HW100 here, and it's worked really well for me like that. So the big pluses, if you like, or its big points for this, is the same thing with DNT. Obviously, is its value for money. I don't like to put prices out because you never know when you're going to be watching this video and the prices could have changed. But it's really good value for money just for a rifle scope. This particular one is the 325, so it's got the 384 sensor in it, thermal sensor, and the 25mm lens, and it produces an incredible picture in my opinion for what it's got there. But it does have that DNT software in it that upscales, I guess is the best way of putting it, you know, upscales the image almost to a higher quality. The image quality for the 384 sensor and 25mm lens is absolutely brilliant. The image you get looking through it, perhaps if I've got an area where I can put a bit of footage up, you'll see it on the video. But the downloaded image video is never ever, especially particularly on thermal, as good as what you're looking through. And the image quality on this particular device with the 384 sensor is absolutely incredible from what I've seen through it. Absolutely brilliant. And particularly what's so good about this is just look at it. again, all DNT products, their form and function, look at the size of it, the lightweight of it, and the ease of use. Just 4 buttons on the top there, yeah? Just those 4 buttons on the top. One of which is the power button and the standby button. Then you've just got the zoom button. You've just got 1 button for zoom. Dead simple. Is it ×2? You press it once. ×4, ×6, ×8. Press it again. Back to ×2. So you just step through it. Menu button. Like I said, I'm not going to go through it. It's got everything you're ever going to want in the menu, as always. It's got the usual DNT reticles, which are really good. All the usual colour palettes, everything on it. So yeah. And then the record button, hit the button, back. Dead simple. And some of the buttons are double use, press and hold. They do different things and everything. And then just around, if I can spin it, oh yeah. This side is the USB port, which it's got an internal memory. I think it's a 32 gig. Check that out for yourself, just to be sure. We're gonna have some noise. There's a nice dumper truck going by now on the track. But yeah, but its memory, 32 gig, is more than enough. I've stored tons and tons of video on it. So, like I say, in the UK, if you're after a thermal, particularly for ratting, I found it exceptionally good for ratting. If you know your distance where you are, if you're typically in a farm shed, or like I've seen online, these recycling centres, and you know you're going to be 15, 20, 25 yards away from it, what an awesome, you know, thermal scope that is. But where its absolute strong point of this is in its size, its lightweight, and its ease to use. So focus on the front, it's got a rubber, and look, it's nice and firm but easy to use. You don't need a coaster or anything like that unless you like to have a coaster to grab. It's firm, it's easy to use. The diopter on the back is just set and forget. It's got a really nice cap on it, clipped and pasted lovely. And if I turn it round, look, it then clips, yeah? Nice and tight, clips. No problem with it going anywhere. If you want to, you can just pull it off and then clip it back on. Dead simple. Same with the back. It's got a really nice rubber eyepiece. Of course it pulls off. That's how I've been using it mostly without that. Very good to use at night to keep the glare down. But look at the size of it now. With my tiny hands, I can span it. I can go. Of course, the build quality of it is exceptionally good as always. 18650 battery, dead simple. One battery lasts several hours. I put one battery in it, I go out and use it all night, I leave it in there. The next time I go out with it, I use the battery, it gets down to a point, I just swap it out, put the new one in, charge that one up. Absolutely, you know, everyone's got 18650 batteries, it all works. So, as a clip-on and as a spotter, not really my cup of tea, I would say. But as a rifle scope, that's where I see the value of this product, particularly in the UK. As a rifle scope that's compact, lightweight, easy to use, with this one with a 384 sensor in it and the 25mm lens, produces an incredible image, especially with that upscaling software thing they've got on it. So if you're after a rifle scope for thermal pest control, particularly up close ratting, because if anything, I have to say I've missed the laser rangefinder that you have an option on most other sort of DNT products. The laser rangefinder with the ballistic calculator is a brilliant bit of kit. But if you're in a barn or in a recycling shed or wherever it is shooting rats, for instance, and you know you're 20 yards from it, that's all you need. And the price point of this, with the image quality that you get, I don't think there's a thermal rifle scope out there at this sort of value with this sort of quality image. But there you go, that's what I think about the DNT Hydra. It's a great bit of kit. I think maybe, if I'm honest, I'd probably noise that thing going by again. If you could afford to buy a thermite, sorry guys, I've got a thermite here. In the UK, I think the thermite's a better tool. Of course it's a better tool. This is a 335. It's got a bigger or larger lens. It's also got day-night vision. It's also got laser rangefinder and an IR torch on it. But it's about a third more money or a quarter more money. But if you can fork that much more out, this is a better value. You won't believe this. I'll speak to you and I've probably scared a squirrel off. There's a squirrel going through the tree there. That's just my flipping luck, isn't it? I just scared him off from going on the feeder. It's right in front of me there. But yeah, another option would be the thermite, but it's a lot more money, or a good chunk of more money. But if you're just after a thermal rifle scope for a bit of ratting, that's my hat. That's compact, I keep saying it, I can't believe the compact, the lightweight, the ease of use, the really good image quality. The Hydra's for you, perhaps. If you can afford a thermite is a fantastic bit of kit, but a lot more money. Right, I'm going to call it quits there, and I'm going to find that flipping squirrel and see if I can get onto him with the thermite. Cheers guys, thanks very much.